hate is a strong word, but I really, really, really don't like how this week has gone for me. Christ on a stick. Greetings and felicitations, assorted children of the internet. I am the Logician, and for those of you who actually caught the VOD, whether it be live or backed up on Twitch, again assuming this will stay up, that track you just heard was actually an older track called Happy Valentine from my friend Comidrian. And I suppose commemoration of today being February 14th, one that doesn't exactly have much meaning for me as an aromantic person. However, I do know that a significant enough number of people do care about this day to where they will go out of their way to, well, I mean, I ranted enough about it on Blue Sky earlier today, so I won't bore you with my not so glowing opinions of Valentine's Day. Instead, tonight we're going to be practicing some self-love in the wake of an unfortunate occurrence on my end. You see, while I was cleaning up some extra space in my external hard drive earlier this week, I tried to access some documents that I had stored, specifically having to do with future streams, and then I realized, I'm having some trouble accessing these. So I went to the main folder, and there was no main folder. Literally all of my documents, PDFs, and even video editing files were completely gone. Deleted and beyond recovery, essentially. In a panic, I got some file recovery software, and what files I was able to get back were all completely corrupted beyond the point of repair. So a good chunk of this week has been me scrambling to try and replace all those files, because a lot of it was important tax information and contracts and just general things that an adult human being cannot really be without, as well as a lot of hand-typed scripts and notes for creative projects that I will never see again. But, you know, that sort of is just the way of things with my life, isn't it? One setback after the other. If it's not something crucial off of my hard drive, it's my entire goddamn YouTube channel. But again, onwards and upwards. I've decided to treat myself tonight, in lieu of any sort of plans with any sort of romantic tendencies. I've been just being kind to myself. I think that's something I've forgotten to do for a long time, and I've decided, fuck it, I'm going to treat myself. I had a nice cauliflower crust pizza with garlic, clams, and anchovies, don't judge. And, to further that self-treatment that I have desperately been needing, I, along with all of you, am going to be watching one of my favorite movies of all time. I was debating between a few options, some of them being more likely to result in a copyright strike against my channel than others. Ultimately, I decided, first of all, fuck no, I will save Masked Rider for another day, Fee. One where I am not dangling at a rope's edge. But instead, we're going to be watching one of my favorite schlocky sci-fi B-movies of all time. One of those monster movies that's so cheesy, it can't even settle on a name. I want to say from 1957, 1958? This movie goes by two names. In the UK, it's known as the Trollenberg Terror, though over in the States, we just call it The Crawling Eye. It's about as cheesy gets, and I hope you will all enjoy it with me. Yes, as Fee says, Happy Single Persons Awareness Day. So, without much further ado, I think it's time we all settled in, got our favorite snacks. As you can see here, I have a lot of old classics, some of which you may not recognize because they're not really a thing in this timeline, I've noticed. Well, I mean, more for me. Anyway, I do hope you enjoy the madness that is to come. So let me just make sure that I have the levels appropriately, well, leveled out. We will start from this volume and then go from there. So, let's get this train a-rolling. My mother loves B-list schlock horror, and I've I've never heard of it. Ah yes, the stamp of quality. From a studio I'm sure all of you have heard of. Is this horror? I wouldn't exactly say in the traditional sense. It tries to be horror. It doesn't exactly succeed. By today's standards, at the very least. Also, please let me know how the volume is faring so I can adjust accordingly. Public domain movie kick. How you doing? It's been a week, Alex. It's been a fucking week.
What's he doing up there? Hey, Jimmy!
Hang on a minute. I can't see. It's foggy. Gone cold, too.
What did you say?
I tell you it's foggy. Cloud or something. Hey, wait a minute. There's someone coming.
That's too much information, chap. These effects are so good. I know, right? You really believe they're in the fucking, I think this takes place in Germany? Trollenberg. I'm trying to remember if that's meant to be... Well, I'm sure they'll reveal in due time. Might have been considered horror in 1958, but it's just cringe. Well, I mean, even then. We'll have to judge based on what we see here tonight. What constitutes horror and what constitutes cringe.
Who is it, Jim? The abominable snowman?
I tell you there's someone coming. I can't see a thing.
I mean, it is Valentine's Day.
Who is it? No, no.
I mean, the suspense. The bone-chilling horror. It's schlock is schlock, ever actually scary? You would be surprised, Fee. Oh, man, he was so horrified he threw his body double over the cliff without thinking. And again, please do let me know how the volume is sounding. That Sack is in danger. I know, right? They need to be more careful up in the mountains.
Right, take strain. Really quick. Stand by. Now, together.
Volume's fine? Good.
Hold. Can you see him? Not yet. He's just below the lip. Here he is. Jim. No! Come on, come on!
Jim, you promised you would never become an NFL fan. I saw that jersey, you bastard. How dare you sign with the Eagles?
You idiot, we nearly had him. Why did you let him go?
Didn't you see
What
him?
are you talking about?
His head! It was torn off!
Listen, Jim had a train to catch, man. He's not going to let something as minor as a body slow him down. Ah, my word. You can barely hear the film and I'm too loud? Is that everyone's experience right now? Again, just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Film is louder than me? Okay. Alright, I've adjusted it just a little bit. Alright, hopefully they should be a bit better.
Hey. And?
You're fine, Fee.
Were you dreaming?
No, I don't think so. Why?
You were talking in your sleep.
I give away any secrets?
Not really. I didn't quite catch his last name.
Would you like some tea? Oh, thank you.
You sure you feel all right?
Yeah, I feel wonderful. I wish everybody would stop treating me like an invalid.
And that's actually well timed with that question there, Fee. The thing is, that's not a child. That is an adult woman. She even just said, why does everyone treat me like an invalid?
Sorry. Look, Anne, there are the mountains.
I thought that was an American. Why does she look 14? Listen. Food in the 50s hit different, alright? Case in point. Listen, this is what you get for eating exclusively jellied eels and mashy peas, alright? It's called malnutrition, Anne. You might want to get that checked out. Like, make like this American here and get yourself a nice, hearty breakfast of Spam and cigarettes.
What happened to that cafe?
Now, don't worry. It's all right.
Is there anything I can do? Oh, my name is Alan Brooks.
I didn't ask.
Well, I'm Anne Pilgrim, and this is my sister Sarah.
Hello.
How do you do? There we are.
I'm sorry about your newspaper, Mr.
Oh, that's all right. I read the baseball scores. There you are. That'll bring the color
I'm a
back.
Kansas fan anyway.
You look like you might do with one.
No, thanks.
You have far to go?
They also smoked while pregnant, like doctors would prescribe cigarettes for pregnant women. Very true.
Next Trollenberg.
Trollenberg? Sarah, we're getting off at Trollenberg.
That's my stop.
What's the matter, Anne? You know we have to go on to duty.
No, I really can't go any further today. We can stop at the Hotel Europa.
Hotel Europa? We've never been to this place. How do you know about the Hotel Europa?
I don't know.
Anne, what's got into you?
We're getting off at Trollenberg. Please, Sarah.
Sarah, didn't you read the script? Oh my god, he's gonna jump! Ah, my word.
Oh, Brooks, I'm sorry I'm late. Did you have a nice trip, Brooks?
Herr Klein, nice to see you again. Oh, I'd like for you to meet Miss Anne and Sarah Pilgrim. Herr Klein, he's the proprietor of the Hotel Europa. Wonder if maybe you could help us out. These young ladies have arrived without any reservations.
I mean, they had plenty of reservations, mainly getting off in Trollenberg. I love how the stereotypes of Americans being large 6-foot super soldiers only gained traction because it was unbelievable that a bunch of malnourished Midwesterners could liberate Europe. You know? You raised a valid point there, Alex. Alright, well, you also have a good evening, Violet. And thank you for stopping by for as long as you did. Also, I do love that quote from Silver. You have ghosts in your blood. You should do some cocaine about it. Do some cocaine about it. Like, I'm not sure if you have a random out-of-context quotes segment in your Discord channel just yet, Silver. You might want to consider putting one in for such choice quotes as that.
But perhaps you could put them up.
Yes, yes, it will be all right.
Good.
Thank you very much.
The car's outside.
It's very good of you to put us up at such short notice.
Well, this is not yet our season, you understand.
Oh, I thought now would have been about your busiest time.
Well, normally, yes, but,
Oh, is Hans still working for you?
yes, Hans is still working, Professor Brooks. Thank
Good.
you.
Seems legit. I like the cut of his jib.
No, thank you. Anne?
No, thank you.
How about you, Herr Klein?
Thank you, I don't smoke.
They shouldn't have started the club.
Again, I do love how they keep reinforcing the whole, like, healthy breakfast of cigarettes and snark. Ah, my word. I don't smoke. They shouldn't have started.
What are you talking about?
An accident. Last week, 1,200 feet up the South Col. 3 English students, one of them was killed.
Was there an accident, Mr. Klein?
On a mountain, these things sometimes happen.
What else do you know about the
Not
Trollenberg?
suspicious.
Peasants are leaving the mountain. They say it's bad luck.
The mountain people are very simple. They are superstitious. All these stories are nonsense.
What stories?
Climbers. Disappearing into the mist and never seen again.
Germans, the British, and Americans getting along together peacefully in harmony. Also, thank you for adding that new channel to the Discord feed. If you aren't already, by all means, please not only follow my good friend Silver Wings on her Twitch, but also be sure to check out her Discord server. I don't really have a Discord server myself, so if you want to know when you can keep up with my streams, that will update you pretty much immediately when I go live. Not helped by the fact that Silver and I have been collabing on a number of streams in recent months. So, yeah, something to keep in mind. Andy! The climbers were beheaded, Andy! I truly believe they're there in the mountains.
Hans, uns Gebet vom Auto, bitte. Jawohl.
Of course, his name is Hansel.
Hello. You must be Mr. Brooks. Klein told us you were coming. My name's Truscott, Philip Truscott.
How are you, Mr. Truscott?
Klein, you didn't tell us we were expecting other guests.
Oh, this is Miss Sarah Pilgrim and Miss Anne Pilgrim.
Pilgrim. Sarah and Anne Pilgrim. Sure, we've met before. The name rings a bell.
Does it?
That's right, I believe the surname was changed in a previous version of the script. Sarah, don't look too closely. You can see my signature on the painting.
The observatory at the foot of the mountain. The cable car. There's the small hut the climbers use. You can see it from the observatory. It's all there.
Just like... Just like what, Anne?
Just like rehearsal.
Just like...
Sarah, why did I want to come here? What is there about this place? Why do I feel I've seen it all before?
What's my
Don't worry
motivation?
about it, darling. Lots of people get a feeling like that. Perhaps you read about it in a book, or saw a picture in a travel folder. You mustn't let it upset you.
Sarah, don't be silly. You know women aren't allowed to read in this time period.
Yes, you're right. I've probably read about it.
I'm going to have to report you, Anne. It's for your own good. Can't have you thinking now.
Come in.
Hi.
How are you?
Give you a hand?
Oh, I think I can.
No, I've got two.
Lovely spot, this, isn't it?
Certainly is.
You've been here before, haven't you?
Yes, once, a couple of years ago.
Good climbing.
The sexual tension is
So you tell
palpable.
me.
Don't you climb?
Not if I can help it.
Funny place to come for a holiday,
I mean, well, I was right about the tension.
if you don't climb.
Yes, isn't it?
Attractive, those two girls, aren't they?
Certainly are.
Pilgrim sisters. Sarah and Anne. Of course, I knew I'd seen them before somewhere. London Palladium about a month ago. They're a mind-reading act. Funny they didn't say anything.
Well, perhaps
I mean, that's
they,
kind of part of the whole bit.
wanted some privacy.
They wait to reveal what they know.
Can I buy you a drink later?
All right.
Good.
It was exit stage left, that's right. Or was it left?
Give me Zurich 6468, will you? Yeah, I want you to check on someone for me. Brooks. Alan Brooks. He's just arrived here. He's
Shaken, not
American,
stirred.
About 40, I should think. Well, I should try New York first, and then Los Angeles, and then Washington.
You have to understand that, like, while he might not necessarily present as 40 today, again, the steady diet of cigarettes and scotch and coke, or whatever the fuck was part of a balanced breakfast back then, contributed to a lot of early gray hairs. This man, by today's standards, looks like he's pushing at least 50. Then again, given the stress I've been going through this week, I'm probably not too terribly far off from presenting as such myself.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Hello there, you'll be Brooks.
That's right.
I'm Dewhurst. This is Brett.
How do you do? How do you do? Looks like you're going for a climb.
Yes, we're going up the Trollenberg. Can I have a noggin before we start? Care to join us?
Scotch and Scotch and steak and eggs breakfast was every
Awesome,
working
too
man's,
bad.
American man's
Give me a
breakfast in
bottle
the
of brandy to
50s.
take with us.
We won a war after
Cold
all.
out tonight.
One would argue too.
You're going to stay the night?
No, there's a hut at the foot of the
We were there
South
with them
Col.
in spirit the
We'll
first
sneak down
time.
and attack the mountain proper tomorrow. Hello, Truscott. You must be Miss Pilgrim.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, this is Mr. Durst, Sarah. And Mr. Brett. Brett, yes.
How do you do?
Do you care for a drink? I appear to be in the chair. Wishes bon voyage.
Thank you. I'll have a Campari.
Truscott?
Scotch, please.
Campari and another scotch.
Actually,
please.
I'm English.
Her sister's here with you, isn't she? Klein told us.
Yes.
Would she care to join us? Perhaps we could...
No, she's having a rest just now.
Quite an occasion for me. My first time up a mountain.
Well, yours too, Mr. Brett?
Oh, no. He's a big boys in the Alpine Club.
How did you come to take up mountaineering?
I want to see if we can't find some good reason for all these accidents. I'm a geologist. I know all
Is there
about
ever really a
rock
good
formation,
reason
that
for
sort of thing.
accidents?
Well, here we are. Cheers.
Good luck. A good climb.
Keep an eye on your roping, wouldn't you?
Why roping particularly?
Student business last week.
That's right. Nasty business. Very nasty.
What was that?
Some kids. climbing on the South Col and one of them fell.
Again, you keep saying kids. They looked like they were in their 30s. But then again, as I mentioned before, like, I even saw a video about this the other day, now that I have it paused, that it was very much just biologically accepted. Like, I mean, okay, say, for example, if anyone here has watched, say, Glee, like, there's no way in hell that the quote-unquote kids in that show are actually played by teenagers. They would have been passable as teenagers 30 or 40 fucking years ago. Again, given just the increased, I guess not even popularity, but just abundance of things like lead paint, asbestos, and secondhand smoke all over the goddamn place. Do you find it fun how this is the era where transatlantic accent is just slowly fading out, but the British accent is pretty much unchanged to today's standards? Yeah, you're not wrong, Alex. So it is fascinating that, on the one hand, yes, human beings are, by and large, living longer. On the other hand, many of us are not only remaining baby-faced longer, but also just feeling wholly inadequately prepared for adulthood. And there are a lot of contributing factors to that last part, but I'll get into that in another stream.
They shouldn't have been climbing without a guide.
Seems he wasn't roped up correctly and the rope got caught up around his neck.
Strangling?
Worse than that. Tore his head off.
Oh, God. You know he's surprised he saw his ears move. Like, let's even go back there for a sec.
Worse than that. Tore his head off.
Damn. Must have cost the special effects department an arm and a leg. To say nothing of the occasional head.
You don't know the half of it. Tell him what the villagers say, Hans.
My boss thought I was 25 until I mentioned my age, like last week. You know? There you go. We do, in fact, present as baby. Collectively.
It's not for me to...
What do they say, Hans?
Well, the guides who found him, also his friends. They swear the rope was round his waist. You understand? It was still tied.
Oh, but how could it have...
The villagers have something to say about that, too. Haven't they, Hans?
You know, you're putting a lot of pressure on this bartender here to lay out all the chips. You could just say what needs saying. Then again, dramatic tension and all that. I've looked like a 30-year-old since freshman year of high school. I mean, clearly those traditionalist standards are still strong and going.
Excuse me.
That includes the insulation. I hate to tell you, Alex, that wasn't cotton candy in the walls. You might want to get yourself checked out.
What do the villagers say, Tresca?
They say that it happened before he fell.
As I said, they shouldn't allow inexperienced climbers up the Trollenberg without a guide. There are bound to be accidents.
Nevertheless, you watch your roping.
We ought to be moving. We want to make the hut before nightfall.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going up to the observatory. I'll hitch a ride with you in the cable car. That is, unless you're going to climb the whole way.
Climb the whole way, but if I can help it. See, there are certain chemical changes that can take place inside rock, which cause a physical alteration of its structure. At times it can become like chalk, break away in your hand.
What do you think of that, Brett?
Oh, I don't think it's like that. A mountain's a mountain. Some people can climb it and some can't.
All right, calm down. Calm down, Lightning. Put your destiny bullshit away for a second.
Those that can't shouldn't try.
I'm here under sufferance.
How long do you think it'll take you to reach the hut from the observatory?
I don't know.
Oh, about 3.5 hours. It's an easy climb.
Yeah. So easy a caveman could do it. The world of tomorrow, today.
Professor, how many more times do I tell you I am not to be interrupted?
I'm sorry, sir, but there's someone outside to see you.
I don't care. Tell him to go away.
He says his name is Brooks.
Tell him to... Alan Brooks?
Yes, sir.
Well, bring him in, bring him in. No, wait. I bring him in myself.
That was in the stage directions, after all.
Alan, my dear Alan. They all get a sack for leaving you out here. Come in. Oh.
I mean, like, that's some space-age technology there with the metal door that clearly weighs about as much as styrofoam.
It's good of you to come and see me, and on your holidays, too. I was lucky I was in Europe. Huh? You got my letter?
Yes.
Well, you don't say very much. What's the matter? You're not pleased to see your old friend?
Wie geht's, Herr Professor?
And how are you, Alan? Come in. Well,
Volume's
Alan,
still good for everyone, by the way.
What do you think of our little observatory, huh?
Yes, indeed.
You know, the government gives me as much money as I want.
Not anymore, they don't.
I'll show you something.
Television?
Better than Windows. So look.
The professor has an accent of a friendly Venezuelan retiree. I'll take your word for it. I admittedly don't know too many of them.
See? Television cameras on the roof. We watch everywhere. You know, the government, they say to me, Professor, do you have to have such expensive things? Windows are much cheaper. And I say I have to have, and I have. That over there, that is the only window. And even for that, we have protection. Look.
Look at that. You could even afford blinds.
That will stand up to any avalanche. But that, too, was very expensive. All this to study cosmic rays. Well, Alan, come into my office, huh?
I mean,
Well, Alan,
rather
here we are.
have a closet,
Same old
something a
mess,
bit
huh?
more private.
Well, you're looking very fit.
Fit? I look the same as always. Come on, quit your stalling, Professor. You forget I know you. You said in your letter that it was urgent. I see you right away. What's so urgent?
Well, how long you been here in Trollenberg, huh?
Got here this morning, came right up to see you.
You haven't heard about the accidents, then?
Yes, I heard about the students.
Yeah, that was one of them. But there have been others. Many others.
Where people climb mountains, there are lots of accidents.
That's true. And sometimes the bodies, they disappear. But here, the search parties go out and always they find nothing. Now, why is that?
Plot convenience?
I don't know.
And then there is the cloud.
What cloud?
Well, don't you know, Google is buying everything.
Come on, Alan, you know what I'm talking about. The cloud where there should be no cloud.
Where there are mountains, there are always clouds.
But this one remains static. On the side of the Trollenberg, it never moves.
Again, the Google analogy isn't really fading here.
Freak of nature.
A radioactive freak of nature?
And there it is. The answer to every plot twist in any 50s movie: radioactivity. Guys, gals, non-binary pals, this is why I love 50s B-movies. It all comes back to radioactivity. Even if people have no idea what radioactivity is. Blame radioactivity.
Radioactive? Mm-hmm. Can we see it from here?
Come, I'll show you.
If you can see it from here, chances are you wouldn't be alive for long.
There you are, on the south side of the Trollenberg. Alan, come here.
You want me by the painting or you want me by the console? Make up your mind, Doc. Starting to think that cloud isn't the only radioactive freak of nature around here.
See, here's a map of the area. This is the Trollenberg. Now that is the scanner. It's up on the roof here. Now you see at the moment, nothing. No reaction, nothing. Now remember, here is the cloud. I turn on the scanner. So, now watch when it passes the cloud. Watch up here on the dials. Uh-huh. Now you see it's past the cloud.
I love this station.
Watch it go around again. Watch here. Well, what do you think of that?
I think we need to talk about your budget.
Now, Alan, I ask you to think back 3 years ago to what happened in the Andes.
But this can't be the same.
Why not? We have the accidents like before, we have the cloud like before. Why can't it be the same?
Too many things missing. The mental compulsion.
What is it?
Girl on the train. She suddenly decided she had to get off at Trollenberg. She was booked for Geneva. But she had to get off at Trollenberg.
And did she?
Yes. She's at the hotel.
I mean, frankly, I don't think her sister should have told me that she got off when she got to the hotel, but hey, you know, they seem pretty public with their information.
There's climbers on the Trollenberg, sir.
Climbers? I thought they were all scared away. Where are they?
16 degrees west of due north. meters.
Here you go, historic footage of back when MTV still had music. Or at least music videos. Technology was limited at the time. They still had yet to find a way to put music in the music videos.
Well, they should be all right as long as they stick to the present track. The cloud is well to the west of the path. Aaron, will you do something about what I've told you?
On the cloud? Do what?
Inform the authorities.
Look, I'm on a holiday. Besides, you haven't told me anything that can be proved.
I've told you about the cloud. I've told you about the accidents. What more do you want?
Facts, proof. Something that'll look real in black and white on a committee's desk.
Wow, what a meta line. The 90s weren't that long ago. You say that, Fee. But at this point, it feels like ancient history. Holy mackerel, I became a poet. And honest to God, I didn't know it.
I know. I'm gonna stick my neck out again like I did in the Andes.
But why? You were employed by the United Nations. It was all in the report.
Look, by the time the Andes report was in, there wasn't anything left in the area, explained or otherwise. They practically accused me of dreaming the whole thing up. Well, if I was to take a hand here, I'd have to have a list of documented facts, and they'd have to be pretty conclusive. You're an important man. Why don't you get through to Byrne?
Important? I'm only important if I say something about cosmic rays. If I say anything else, they tell me to mind my own business. Maybe you should speak to Klein.
Hotel proprietor?
Well, he's also the mayor of Trollenberg. Perhaps he could help. Anyway, he could supply a list of the accidents.
Klein wears a lot of hats in that town. Mainly to cover up his receding hairline, but all the same.
And perhaps you do something yourself.
Oh, look, it's where I used to live in California. It's not even that much of an exaggeration.
You all right? Oh, take your pack off, man. You can't relax like that.
It's only a brisk 3-hour jog, man.
Hello?
Oh, God.
Yes, Applet.
There is something afoot.
You arrived all right. Good. Good.
Apparently Klein doesn't just wear lots of hats. Wears a mask or two.
A night's sleep will set you right. Yes, all right. Goodbye. It was Herr Brett. They have arrived at the hut. You see, there's nothing to worry about. It is just unfortunate that this year we have had many inexperienced climbers.
And what about the rumors in the village?
Well, you know these people, Professor. They are superstitious. They like to believe in fairy stories. Gentlemen, you understand.
Also, don't worry about lurking, Silver. I mean, that's just it. Tonight is one of those nights where either you have something planned or you don't, and sometimes you just want to vibe, as the children say, and that is perfectly valid. Me, myself, I'm just chilling here with my Cheez-Its, my Otter Pops, my Squeeze-Its, my all-dressed chips. I'm in my happy place. My happy place very rarely emerges from the ether, but here we are.
Officially, there's nothing I can do.
Oh, you know it's serious. They changed the fucking position of the
Make
cloud.
Summit and back tomorrow, if we travel light.
I must have a sack for rock samples.
I think we can manage that. You can take your sack.
Again, the sexual tension is palpable.
Visibility's not too good. A little clear.
Fog up here.
In a mountain? Don't be ridiculous, man.
Cloud. Moving down from the peak.
Will this do, Miss Pilgrim?
Oh, this will be fine. It's quite a collection you have there.
I mean, half you understand that was about as seamless a transition as they could manage before George Lucas came around.
And say nothing. So it's impossible for any sort of code to be used.
It's a banknote. French. 500 francs. There's a number on it.
500, I believe.
H O 1 1 8 8.
I'm sorry, that's not how you spell horoscope. You don't move on to the next round, unfortunately.
To, young lady?
Philip. It's a rounded sort of object about the size of a tennis ball. Made of glass. I think it's used as a paperweight. There's a model inside it. A mountain and a little hut. And when you shake it, there's a snowstorm.
Bitch, you just gave it away! You ruined the surprise.
Snow. Mountains. Little hut. Two men in the hut. Anne.
Leave
The fat one,
Right,
he's
who left
asleep.
their phone on?
Yes, the fat one, he's asleep. But he's not the one. It's the other one.
I mean, they did just mention they went to visit the hut. They didn't specify whether it was Jabba or pizza.
Writing in a book. He's the one. He's getting up. He's coming towards the door.
Anne, I hate to break it to you, but unfortunately, you don't read aloud the stage directions.
Opening it. He's coming out. Up the slope. Up the slope. Walking slowly.
You know, I've heard some weird ASMR in my day, but this takes the cake.
Paperweight. Glass paperweight.
Please, don't crowd.
Get her up to her room. Up.
You know, I do wish that phone would pick a volume and stick with it.
Hello? Hello, Brett.
You asked here. What do you want?
Are you all right?
Yes, why?
Is Brett there?
Of course he is. Wouldn't go wandering off in the middle of the night. Wait, hold on.
Apparently he got fed up with the stage direction reading as well.
Jurist! Jurist, is Brett there? Can you hear me? Jurist, are you there? Hello? Hello?
Hello? You're right. He's not here. He must have just gone out. I better go and look for him.
No, don't do that. You'll be lost in 5 seconds. Just sit
Oh,
right
don't
where you
do
are.
that.
I think I should go. Maybe something wrong.
No, you're not to move. Stay in the hut. What's the weather like?
Not very good. Some heavy cloud coming down.
Well, then stay where you are. There'll be somebody at this end of the phone all night. If Brett shows up, or if you need us, bring us here, will you?
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Well, I've lost the Costello to my abbot.
Brett! Brett!
That's how echoes sound.
She's coming around, I think.
Grandma, what happened?
It's all right, darling. You passed out.
Well, we need
Don't
some
worry, you'll win
relaxers.
next year's spelling contest.
Sedative, perhaps. You have such a thing?
I may have some sleeping pills in my room. Shall I see if I can find them?
Oh, please. Thank you. Miss Sarah, could I speak with you for a minute, please?
All right.
We'll give Anne a moment to recover from her Alfred E. Newman impression.
No, Miss Sarah, I don't want you to upset yourself.
Are these any good?
Yes, that's fine. Now you give her
Maybe
two of
something
these
stronger next
and come
time.
downstairs, please, huh?
All right.
I told you I prefer the watermelon flavor of 5-hour.
So Mr. Brett decides to take a walk. That is not so strange.
Hope you're right. How is she?
Well, she'll be all right, I think. Did you get through to the hut?
Yes. Brett isn't there.
You wouldn't think
Did
of the
you
droids we're
notice
looking for.
How she said he was coming out of the hut, coming up the mountainside. It was as though she was watching from on the Trollenberg itself. Miss Sarah, I wanted to ask you something. This act of yours, you've been doing it for how long?
About 2 years now.
You don't use a code, do you?
Well, we used to. And then we found that Anne could guess what I was thinking before I started speaking. But I don't see what this has got to do with...
Please, please. Your sister's telepathic, no?
Yes, she is. I wanted to give up the act.
Why?
Well, you saw what happened tonight. It's a dreadful mental strain. That's really why we're taking this holiday.
Nevertheless, you will take her away from here first thing tomorrow, please.
Take her away? But why?
It's not good for her here. You will take her away first thing in the morning, all right?
You have to understand, this is the 50s. Fresh air cannot be good for a woman. Take her back to the city where she can get the black lung like the rest of us.
If you say so.
Good.
Did you like those grown games of peekaboo we all play?
Yes? Yes, he's here. It's for you, Professor.
Thank you. Hello. Hello, Clement here.
Professor, I thought I'd better contact you. That cloud has started moving. Yes, its variation is about 6 degrees.
Radioactivity increasing.
Radioactivity is increasing too, sir. Wait a minute, I'll find out.
We believe we may be looking at a Whole Food situation.
Yes.
One-time Twitch ads work for
Yes,
me
I
again,
understand.
and it's for boner
I'll be
gel,
up in
you
the
know?
morning. The cloud has moved.
You know what they say, advertisements
foot of the South Corner.
reflect the needs of the people,
Where the
Gaucher.
hut is.
Hello? Oh, hello, Alan. No sign of him yet.
Alan! Alan!
It's
Alan!
foggy as hell outside,
Alan!
anyway, I can't see far. Perishing cold, too. Yes. Yes. Hold on a minute. There's someone outside. Hang on. Brett, is that you?
No, this is Patrick.
False alarm, I guess. Hang on a minute, I'm just going to close the door.
Let's just pause for a moment to look at that choice quote there, because I feel like that's a good one for the Out of Context channel. I can't watch my classic movies without gel for the wiener I don't have. Slap that shit on a t-shirt. Come on, it wasn't that bad.
Durst, can you hear me?
It's pronounced door, not Durst. Not sure where you got those last few letters from.
Eh? Phone's gone dead.
Hello? Are you speaking? Yes? I see. All right. All right.
Let's also examine the timing of that comment as well, Cochet. That's just how I make men feel when I walk in the room. Immediately following the blood-curdling scream. I mean, listen, some people can handle centipedes and others can't. You know? Skill difference.
It was the observatory. The cloud has moved away from the hut. Back up the Trollenberg.
The impossible has happened. Someone outbought Google.
Jawohl. Habt ihr gut nachgeschaut?
Ja.
We better start now. It will be light soon.
Apply.
Yeah.
I thought the locals were afraid of going up that mountain.
They are afraid. There's an unwritten law here. Time like this, they go up no matter what.
I have called the spot.
I mean,
but it will not be up till morning.
once again, insert your own Valentine's Day jokes here.
Fine.
Good.
Look after yourself, Alan.
Don't worry. I'll stop by the observatory on the way down. Good.
Ah, yes, we have a wonderful gift shop we just put in. Where do you think we keep getting this funding? Ah, look at all these glaciers that probably don't exist anymore. Thank God they were immortalized in these backdrop paintings. Man, the lengths to which people had to go to install Google Fiber back in the day.
Here they come.
Simply repurpose microplastics into mountains. Or vice versa.
So now they're the hut. Keep them away. Keep them away from the hut. Away from the hut. Away from the hut.
And she is not a fan of Luke Skywalker.
Professor, what's the matter? Why does she behave like this?
Might have something to do with the fact that she's fucking telepathic, like you told me.
Well, it's like a radio receiver. You see, Your sister's mind is capable of receiving signals sent out by other minds. By yours, for example. But now there is a stronger signal, I think, a stronger mind. It's jamming the wavelength.
Again, not helping the Google analog.
But who is it?
Well, we shall know more about that, I think, when they reach the hut. In the meantime, I say to you again, get your sister out of here before it is too late.
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
It's time I was getting back to the observatory.
Too late for what, Professor?
When they reach the hut, then we will know for sure, I think.
Sorry, being cryptic is an old German tradition.
The door is locked from the inside. There must be in there. Mr. Brett! Mr. Dewhurst!
Just looked in through the window. The place seems deserted.
She's no sister of mine. We're a Star Trek household. Oh, man. Must have been watching RuPaul all night. Look at all the glitter.
These blankets. Frozen stiff.
No, that's just Cochet walking into the room.
Where are they? That door was barred on the inside.
Yeah.
Brooks!
They didn't finish the scarecrow in time.
Anne, we're leaving here today.
No, Sarah.
Fine, why not? Look, after last night.
I just want to stay here, that's all.
Now, Anne, I really mean this. We're
Me when I get up in the morning.
Today. All right?
All right.
Now, don't you worry about anything at all. Now, I'll go and fix things up.
I watched Tremors with bats earlier, and I had to stop mid-sentence several times to say, that's me, when the worms showed up. Listen, I mean, to be fair, you do give off Major Graboid vibes. I'm gonna stop myself before I make any jokes about shriekers or ass blasters. Man, it may have been experimental, but back then the Gator was still, fairly proof positive. Can't decide what to wear. Gray? Gray? Oh, gray? So many choices.
You know these mountains here, Klein? What do you think our chances of finding him?
Herr Brett is an experienced climber, so we can only assume he's hurt. They all have their search orders, and a spotter plane should be here any minute. No, Master 30.
Hey, Alan.
Ugly amalgam of insects and flesh with poor manners, not a monster. I mean, yeah, you raise a good point. Counterpoint. Why do you think the bat is so attracted to you? They do love their insects.
This is where the telephone went dead. The wires are broken.
What do you make of it? Never seen that.
They replaced them with Twizzlers.
I have. I saw some experiments with excessive cold once. Wire like this is subjected to sufficient cold, it crystallizes. The structure breaks up. Just like this here.
It hasn't been cold. Not cold enough for this.
You're in the mountains and surrounded by snow, jackass. She looks like she wants to sell me a watch. Or otherwise commit a felony. Trench coat like that, those are the only two explanations. Ah, 50s green screen. Oh man. Look at that. They brought back Robert Downey Jr. early.
Plane to party. Plane to party. Are you receiving me?
Hey, Mac, wanna buy a sundial?
Plane receiving you loud and clear.
What is your position? What is your position?
That reminds me of my old cell phone.
Map reference 265843. Over.
Roger, party. I can see you now. I shall fly north for 5 miles, then turn west for 5 miles, then south. I shall cover this search area first.
Roger, plane.
Also, quick question. Why are they all speaking English? Do you remember when cell phones couldn't do texting, only calls? The sad thing is, yes, I do, Koshe. Fellow crone, fellow hag, absolutely. By modern VTuber standards, I suppose I do qualify as a hag.
Hello. I want to speak to the observatory. Professor Crevet.
My dog just bared his teeth at me and growled. My crime, I was looking for something and he just got jostled. I mean, listen. How dare you devote any attention to anything other than your fur baby? 1 million years dungeon. I love the air of whimsy with this part of the soundtrack. How dare you rustle their jimmies? How very dare you? It looks like he's having a good time.
This is the plane. I've spotted
He's
him.
demonstrating that it's fun to stay at the YMCA.
Half a mile due north of your position. About the north face.
Roger, plane.
My name is Kyle. I told you once, I told you 1,000 times. I don't call you a stupid hat, do I?
Miss Pilgrim, my name's Wilde. Professor Crevet sent me to bring you to the observatory.
For a second, I thought that was the movie. Alright, well, as Fee has deemed it necessary, it is time for us to break out a random question. So let's go ahead and have a roll of the die. 17. Alright, so number 17, that is going to be... Why has no one sued Puxicani Phil for fraud? I mean, if the governments of the world can recognize the birthdays of long-dead historical figures and the authority of fictional characters, it's only fair that you should be able to pursue legal action against them. Also, I don't care if I mispronounced the groundhog's name. I'm just putting that out there. But why? For fraud. I'm just saying. The thing is not exactly 100% correct in its predictions. Phil is the groundhog that predicts the length of winter. Yes, that is correct. For the uninitiated, Puxicani Phil is a I want to say Philadelphian. It's a Philadelphian figure in the United States. Snake oil salesman, pretty much, Koche. In the United States, there is a celebration called Groundhog's Day on February 2nd, where the tradition is that if Puxicani or Puxatani, however the fuck it's really pronounced, Phil, sees his shadow, that means 6 more weeks of winter. Why he's considered a fraudster? I mean, given that I have photographic and video evidence of him calling for an end to winter, only to look outside and find everything foot deep in snow, I'd say I've got my evidence, Faye. Anyway, moving on with cinema.
But I'm not to go to the observatory.
Well, there's nowhere else to go up here. And it's only a couple of 100 yards.
I'm to go up the mountain.
I don't think so, Miss Pilgrim. I think you ought to wait a while at the observatory.
You must be confused with someone who has agency.
Hier ist sein Rucksack, aber ich kann ihn nicht sehen.
Oh, now you're speaking German. I love how the echo got louder randomly. God damn. His lunch bag split open. Oh man, now they're gonna have to replace Robert Downey Jr. again.
30 degrees west.
No, his Campbell's.
How about that?
You know, if he had only eaten the soup, he would have felt a lot better.
Sugar? Negative.
As we all know, Campbell's chicken noodle cures any ailment, at least cold-related.
Negative. Negative.
I see we have some naysayers.
Try the other circuit. Oh, wait. Switch back to the first circuit and reverse the scanner. No.
Also, triangulate the equilibrium or whatever other science mumbo-jumbo we can think up.
Well, hello, Anne. What are you doing up here?
I must go. Please excuse me.
Go? Go where?
To the Trollenberg. I must go now.
Don't let her go, sir.
Don't worry. Come along.
What do you mean, women's suffrage?
Helen, I want to speak with you.
Yeah, I got
All we have here is
you,
women
too.
suffering.
Hans,
That's the role you're meant to
when's the
play.
next cable car go down the mountain?
That man is huge.
Good, I
I
want
think
you to
it's
take
less
Anne down.
he's
Don't let her out of your
huge
sight.
and more that she's just particularly petite.
I want you to go with Hans. He'll take care of you.
That's what I'm worried about.
Thank you, Hans. Well, I've been to the hut.
And?
Dorst is dead. Brett's missing.
Not that I'm surprised.
Well, I suppose I owe you 50 francs. I thought it was
cloud
500.
started moving again.
What cloud? Oh, I don't think you'd understand, Philip.
You know, why am I not surprised that we thought up the same joke, Koche? Ah, Christ on a stick.
Like that time in the Andes, do you mean? How do you know about that? All right. I'm a newspaper man. It's my job to know about these things.
I see.
Comprised
chased
entirely
that
of
story when we got wind
newspapers.
the
I never
article,
heard of
Alan.
that devil fruit.
When I got there, it was too late. Looks as if I'm going to be more fortunate this time, doesn't it?
Fine, fine. That's just what we need.
Haven't answered my question, Professor.
Happy possible hive mind besties day, Griffin. It seems to be a spreading condition, Coach A. That's the scary part. There seem to be more than enough of my brain cells to go around, it seems. Between you and fucking Gaelic Knox and Lorelei and literally every member of the fucking coven that is forming around me.
So what happens now?
The United
You
Nations
turn the
have a
page and
special
see what's
team
next.
Investigating phenomena. I call them in.
Does the theory that you put forward last time still hold, Professor?
What theory?
Visitors from outer space, that was it, wasn't it?
Well, what else?
Well, what are they? What do they want?
Look, Philip, there are many galaxies besides ours. Now, who knows what is happening millions of miles out in space?
I mean, we've made several references to Star Wars and Star Trek by now, Professor. We can only hazard a guess or two. I'm a friend that I wasn't named. I mean, it's less that you and I share the brain cell, Silver, and more that our brain cells are in constant conflict with one another. Maybe if I ship you with your brain cells, the Yowie girlies will rally behind your efforts to regain them. Many people have already beat you to the punch, unfortunately, Koshe.
Perhaps the world that these creatures inhabit is coming to an end. Perhaps they need to find somewhere else to live.
Well, why pick on us?
We don't know, it's just us. Maybe it's also on Mars, Venus, Jupiter, who can tell?
Do you go along with us?
Until somebody comes up with a better theory, yes, I do.
I hate that I know what you mean, Koshe, but unfortunately, yes, on multiple occasions. Usually with a robot, it's a long story, I'd rather not get into it.
All right. All right, while we're theorizing, why do you think do they always happen to land on the tops of mountains? First the Andes and now the Trollenberg.
Well, it's the atmosphere, I think. You see, it gets much thinner high up. Well, perhaps these creatures need that. The clouds would seem to indicate this, too, creating their own atmosphere.
Well, if they can only exist on the tops of mountains, they're hardly likely to inherit the Earth, are they?
I mean, you say that, but most billionaires live on the top of many high, tall towers there, buddy. Granted, they had no idea how to really predict just how horrendously rich some people would come to be in the coming decades, but, you know, live and learn. Or die and learn in this case.
You see, anyone can get used to anything in time. Now, these movements we have recorded here, each time, lower down the mountain. Acclimatization, perhaps.
What next, Professor?
The next move is up to you, Evan. You must inform the authorities.
Again, I need to point out, you get consistent government funding, Professor. You have the easiest access to contacting authorities out of anyone here. But again, the responsibility must be pushed onto the strong shoulders of the American in the room. That's the way of the world. Don't worry, she's safe, everyone. She's disguised as a zebra. She'll blend right the fuck in.
Any sign of Mr. Brett yet?
Well, the plane spotted someone he thought was him, and two of the searchers went to meet him. The others are back. Oh, they saw nothing.
Well, if it was Brett, they ought to be back by now.
Your sister?
She's in her room.
Good.
You think she's safe from our friends up there?
Well, I don't think they'll try the same thing again. Trouble is, what will they try?
Mr. Professor has avoided Operation Paperclip for too long to get caught now. No, absolutely. Far too many of his own sins weighing on his shoulders. He has to push them onto someone else's. Also, I could read what you said in that previous comment, Koshe. I could read that.
Brett!
guys all right?
Where have you been? We've had search parties out to you.
That was
I
lost.
believe the children referred to it as a gooning session.
You guys get back all right?
When did you see him last?
Fee, why is your timing like this? Well. They may have killed me, Koshé, but not for long. After all.
It is only a matter of time before I eventually kill one or more of you. But then again, would death really be the worst outcome for all of you?
What the fuck kind of world do we live in?
Dewhurst?
Yes.
Last night I saw him.
At the hut.
Yes, at the hut.
Not what you wanted me to read? You didn't really give me something to read, Fee. To be fair. Ah, my word.
It's a bit hot in here. Pour me a drink, Klein.
Have one on me.
Let me help you.
Sorry.
I mean,
Thank you.
behavior not exactly beating the gooning allegations.
How's your sister, Miss Pilgrim?
She's all right now.
Where is she?
Definitely something you never want to hear after a goon session.
Have a cigarette.
Wanted me to read Koshé's message? I apologize, I did not see that, Fee. Well, there is always incentive for next time, then. But the match goes on the cigarette, not up your nose. I can't claim to be an expert in the field of smoking, but
No, I'm afraid. Pretty scary up there on your own.
Were you all on your own?
After I lost Dewhurst.
I'm sorry to be a nuisance, but may I...
oh wow, he literally got that dog in him.
Look at his head.
Man's out here quoting flipogram roasts while there's an actual crisis going on.
There's no blood.
That should take care of him until the morning, I think.
Good. UNO team will be here tomorrow, and Dr. Becker can have a look at him.
Do we tell the others what he was trying to do?
I don't know.
Also, I just realized I think I may have had some audio doubled for quite some time now. It is quite possible, in fact. Didn't expect this to be the stream to have so many mentions of Goon Sessions tonight. You and me both, Alex. Ah, my word. Alright, now let me play this audio and let me know if it sounds different in volume or doubled or not so much, because I think I made an oopsie doopsie.
I don't know about you, but I could use a drink.
I think all of us could right now, buddy.
Alan, what is all this about? Brett behaving like that, I mean.
You read the Andes report, don't you know?
Do you mean to say something like this has happened before?
Oh, well, that part of the report was hushed up. There was an old woman down there. She was clairvoyant. The villagers thought she was a witch. Actually, it was a case of more than ordinary sensory powers, and Crevette was able to hypnotize her.
She was remarkably sensitive to outside suggestion. You know, mental suggestion. Under hypnosis, one can tell these things. Well, it was about the same time as we first observed the cloud. She started having these trances. It was as though some mental compulsion was working on her. She began seeing things.
We planned a course of hypnosis to try and find out where these compulsions were coming from. But
All right. Audio is clearer now? Okay, that's good. So I do apologize for it being muddled up until this point. Now that we are about 2/3 of the way through the movie. Probably the worst friend any person could have a goon session. Side effects of me existing. I mean, listen, I can think of worse people, Koshe, in your defense.
we never get started. There was a man. He went up the mountain. He was missing for 24 hours, and then he came down. His coordinations were not quite right, just like Brett. First opportunity he got, he took a meat axe to the old woman. We got there about 10 minutes later. We were both dead.
How did the man die?
Crevette?
The man had been dead already 24 hours. I know. I know it's impossible, of course. But, you see, there are certain changes which take place in the body after death. Now, they follow a pattern that cannot be altered. The man had been dead already 24 hours. There was no doubt.
I mean, I'm going to let y'all make your own rigor mortis jokes here. Chances are Koshe was already in the process, but...
Well, I was unfortunately unable to perform the autopsy. The police took over.
Are you trying to tell me that Brett is like that? That we've just been fighting a dead man?
We believe that he was sent down that mountain by...
more power to you, Koshe, keeping your hands busy.
Express purpose of killing Ann Pilgrim. They can't afford for Ann to be alive. She's a threat to their security. They tried to entice her up there.
I can't tell if that was a pun or not, Koshe. That's the scary part.
Now they've tried this. Neither's worked.
So what do they try now?
I don't know. Professor?
I don't know either. But whatever it is, we won't have to wait long to find out.
Out here looking like the son of the mask. You should have brought more hats for your protection there, Hans. Chin straps would have saved you. It's a good thing he was hiding the key in his jugular. He's so talented, right? I mean, he can't pack a lunch to save his life, but he has other skills. Thought it was around his neck? It may have been, and maybe I simply wasn't paying close enough attention. I think we found our next hire for the Trump administration. He's got that look in his eye like he's been watching too much Popeye. Hey! Agent Jammies is on the case.
Alan, look at this.
What?
Hans, bring the light closer. Now put it lower. Lower. Put it on the floor. You see the way the flesh reflects the light? It's almost as though it was crystallized. Like meat that's been deep frozen.
I still don't understand how such a...
Man. I mean, to be fair, if I spend too much time in the sun, same thing happens to me. I chalk it up to my Scottish-Irish heritage. At least that particular percentage of my heritage.
Alan, the observatory's just been on. That cloud's moving again. It's coming down the Trollenberg, toward the village.
Also, Cochet, you need to get out of my brain cells.
Hans,
I'm using
you're
them.
wasting your time. That phone is dead. The wires have been cut. We've got to get up to the observatory.
But we must...
You heard what the professor said. That place is built like a fort. If we're going to have any direct contact with these things, at least we'll have some kind of a chance up there.
It's insane. We should try to get out to the valley.
The road is blocked. The cloud stretches right across it.
We better get moving, huh?
Yes. You go in the next cable car with the girls.
You can spare 3. I'm losing them quicker than I can make them, Cochet. I have scripts to rewrite, damn it. Oh, thanks, Alex. Appreciate that.
You got everyone?
Yo, everyone. There are 12 left. One car's already gone up, and the other one will be down in 10 minutes.
Who's that?
Hans.
Turn on your location. I just want to do basic math.
All right, everybody, let's get up to the cable car as quickly as we can. We haven't got very much time. Got everything, Philip? Yep.
Not the snow globe.
He's driving through that cloud.
Let's see. Once got burned so bad I was purple after less than 45 minutes in the sun. And yes, I had applied sunscreen recently. I mean, that is an increasingly universal experience, I feel, between us human beings and the day star. Mildly concerning, if I had to say.
Professor, are you sure we're doing the right thing coming up to your observatory?
Right or wrong, I don't know. What I do know is, it's wrong to stay down in the village. Up there we stand some chance, at least.
Professor, look.
We look
On the lower
comparatively
slope,
less
the
silly.
cloud. It's moving faster.
I hope they see it down there.
The operator says it is 5 minutes now.
Mesh and fishnet is not clothes. Not with that attitude, Alex.
Good.
Alan. The cloud's moving pretty fast now.
Please, folks, I'd like for you all to be ready to load in the car as soon as it gets down.
We're getting an early forecast of dry ice.
It's nearly at the hotel. If only we could see into that cloud. At least we'd know what we were dealing with.
Yeah, well, we'll know soon enough.
Have I mentioned that I want to see into the cloud? I've been trying to be subtle this whole time. Okay, I'm going to correct you on this point here as well, Cochet. I'm pretty sure bats would beg to differ, if no one else. Everyone, attack. Kill them with kindness. Ah, my word.
Seems to have stopped at the hotel.
Yeah, well, as long as it stays there, we're all right. At least that cloud lets us see where it moves.
Let's have a tally of how many times it's a cloud within the next 5 minutes.
That's it. Hurry along. Please, ma'am. Please.
Mein Kind! Wo ist mein Kind?
Of course, the child.
No, I was talking about the medical kit.
If that cloud starts to move this way before I get back, take the car up. Do you understand?
What about you?
Do as you're told.
Stay.
There they are. Me when I figure out the Wordle on the first try. And that's me when I don't get the Wordle on the first try.
Sagt, Sie können gar nichts machen.
Tell her that Mr.
All right. Let's get in the cable car. That's it.
Brains of Mensis of Bloodborne. I mean, you're not exactly far off. Ah, my fucking word. Hello, hermano. Seems we are joined by Gail Rice, aka Hunchman Bats. You've joined us essentially within the last 20 minutes or so of this movie. Should have made the contact gesture at him. What an idiot. I know, right? Well, hindsight being 20/20 and all that.
It was a close shave.
Well, we're not through yet.
Also, don't watch me shave anymore. My favorite part of the soundtrack. captivating orchestral peak. Or piece. No, I guess in this case, peak would work too.
Remember the telephone wires at the hut?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's worse than we thought. They're whitewashing the set.
This contraption operate in extreme cold?
No, that was in fact the first time we ever saw the aliens proper, Fee. Orchestral P? Well, I mean, given the circumstances, I think they're all scared enough. Besides, it's the one way they can keep warm on their way back up to the observatory.
The cable car had 30 below.
Colder than that?
It never gets colder than that. The cable! It will snap.
It's so alive you don't shut the fuck up.
All right, quick, everybody out. That's it.
Man.
We're leaving the villagers out here, sir.
Budget for this movie was tight. They were even holding auditions while filming.
Shots are safe and they won't get in the way.
Is the radio still working?
We checked it about 15 minutes ago, sir.
Oh, Alan, come here. Alan, we're in big trouble.
What now?
The cloud is splitting up.
Splitting up?
There are 4 of them now, and all moving this way.
And I thought they were dangerous before, but now they've become a polycule.
How long before they get here?
An hour, maybe.
Well, we've got just an hour to decide what we're going to do. Better check that radio again.
You're going to signal the authorities?
To tell them what? What do you use against these things?
High explosives?
Bombs. Time the plane gets here, those things will be all over us. How do they drop their bombs then?
So it's still working okay, sir?
Good. You see that thing again.
Oh. There's someone knocking at the outside door, Herr Bell. It's Hans from the hotel.
Again, seems legit.
I'll let him in.
There are 5 of them now, and all moving.
Alright, so we have another random question coming in. So let me go ahead and bring these dice back. And skadoosh. 14. So number 14 on the list of random questions would be... Isn't it ironic, don't you think, that we've all but completely forgotten the actual meaning of the word irony? Makes you think.
Well, we don't make up our minds pretty soon, they'll be made up for us.
I mean, again, insert your own jokes about the current administration here.
What's the matter?
God.
What happened?
The cloud. It was stretched across the road. I turned the car and came back.
You all right?
Did we ever really know the meaning of it in the first place? You raise a valid point, Fee.
Yes. I'm all right, thank you. It is so hot in here.
Cochet when they're in the conversation with one of their VTuber friends.
Stay here with the others, Hans. You'll be all right soon.
Thank you.
Ja, bleib mit ihnen.
Why don't you make me, Cochet? Ah, my word.
I know it's a lot to ask, Sarah, but I don't see any other way.
You know?
Anne, where are you going?
I'm just going to sit down in the office.
All right.
Not suspect at all.
But how can Anne help? She doesn't know anything.
We don't know for sure that she can, but Sarah, we've got to try something. Obviously, she has some kind of contact with these things, whether she knows it or not. I thought perhaps with you controlling her thinking, we might be able to learn something about what we're dealing with.
I suppose we could try.
I'm waking up to so much Winsler out of myself tomorrow. I mean, that's sort of part and parcel of being a VTuber in general. Deep fakes of me holding hands with people. You know? How very dare you? Then again, I did buy a bunch of hand sanitizer for that very reason, so.
Professor, it's the thermometer on the South Pole. It's going down all the time.
It's 45 below.
It's still dropping. It's a cloud location, isn't it?
There is a cloud there, yes.
Wait a minute. Say it's cold they need. They live in cold. Remember the phone wires at the hut? And Brett complained of being hot after he was infected.
Yes.
And Hans, too. He complained of these.
Supposing that... Hans, what about him?
He arrived a few moments ago. Said he changed his mind about trying to escape. He complained of...
Where is he?
Out in the corridor.
Where's Hans?
He went inside a minute ago.
He came in here.
Well, where can he...
Anne!
Let's take another look at that. Just the sheer leap.
Well, where can he...
Anne!
Boing! Short king indeed.
No! Wait, my dear, please.
You know, there's a part of me that misses this era of cinema in general, when all fight scenes were completely choreographed. And death cries were completely prematurely cut off. Initiating launch procedures.
Poor devil.
She'll be all right, I think.
The plot demands so.
Better take care of him. How thick are these
She's
walls?
fine, just doing woman shit.
3 feet, maybe?
Fireproof?
Well, yes, they're reinforced concrete against the avalanche.
Good. Hugo, get on the radio. United Nations in Bern. I want to talk to Colonel Spellman. Now that Anne can't help us anymore, there's only one thing left.
What's that?
Spellman can't help us. We've already proven that no one in this town knows how to spell. I would say ask Anne, but unfortunately she seems a smidge preoccupied.
What I said before. Every time we've come up against these things, there's been this intense cold. Remember you said that Brett looked like he'd been in the deep freeze. Heat, that's what we've got to use. I'm going to ask for a bombing raid.
You said that was impossible.
Fire bombs, that's our answer.
Through to Bern, Mr. Brooks.
Got any petrol?
I mean, technically
Fine.
all
Yeah,
bombs
all
are
the jars
fire
and bottles
bombs
you've
to
got.
an extent. It's like the beginning of a Spinal Tap show. The cosmic gooning is upon us. H-bombs and microwave firebombs. Not wrong. Need to rehydrate, redeem? I mean, especially right now, given the abundance of gooning jokes. Even Molotov cocktail will do it. Oh, it's funny you mentioned that, Fee.
No, I think a bit more on that one. Oh, yeah. That's fine. Be sure you get that rag stuffed in there tight so the petrol won't leak.
I see the prophetic bug is spreading in my chat.
May I have your attention, please? I don't want anyone to leave this corridor unless I say so. Understood? In the meantime, get as many of these ready as you can and be careful of them. They're dangerous. And I can tell you that help's on its way. Thank you.
Just wanted to say good luck. We're all counting on you.
Alan.
Yeah?
Which bug, Logician? The prophetic bug. You predicted the use of Molotov cocktails just as they were about to start preparing them on screen.
How are we going to use these bombs of yours?
You light the rags and throw them at those things in the cloud.
Alan, come here quickly.
These bombs of yours. You keep mentioning fire. How are bombs going to help?
Look at this.
It's not a bug? No, but Crochet is several. It's a feature. Well, I mean, tomato, tomato. Reminds me of the good old days of that guy with the glasses. See, we got the cinema snob on screen here.
Cute little things, aren't they?
Yeah. I'm gonna throw a bomb at that when you watch on the screen, see what happens.
I'm sorry, there's just something so inherently... like, look at these marvelous creatures from another dimension. Yeah. I'm gonna throw a bomb at that one.
Cute little things, aren't they?
Yeah. I'm gonna throw a bomb at that when you watch on the screen, see what happens.
I feel like I need to isolate that clip. Me playing Fallout 76. I'm so sorry, Crochet.
Would you all go up to the far end of the corridor, please? Except you come with me. I want you to slam this door behind me. Wait for me to knock to come back in. If I don't knock, don't open it, right?
76. I mean, listen, I can't even fault you, Crochet. I know people who still like Final Fantasy 13. Now to wait and see if they are still in the chat.
All right.
Is Sylvie gonna fight you? You know, you didn't have to out her. Fee. There she is. Easiest way in the world to summon Silver.
These things can really move. We've either got to get a direct hit or surround them with so much flame they can't get out.
Hey, let me try one.
All right.
What are you doing that for? I was going to drink it. See, this is why you don't engage with trolls.
Alan, there's one on the roof. It's taken Philip.
And change the window to Discord yet? I was gonna summon me? Or summon Silver. Oh, I hope you didn't like your ankles, Philip.
Thanks. You all right?
Yes. Thanks, Alan. Now what?
I don't know. Can't go out that door again, that's for sure.
Philip, my short cane, speak to me. Honestly, at this point, Crochet, I think Philip needs more fan art than me. Man is going through it. A bomb-ass lightning cosplayer. I mean, you're not wrong, Silver.
It's the only way in or out of this observatory. I've checked.
No more bombs, then?
Pixar didn't have... Listen. You can probably understand the problem inherent of that, given the nebulous nature of the flesh bodies of VTubers.
Not these.
Well, what do we do, then?
I don't know. Nothing much we can do, but wait for that airplane.
Absolutely no one wants fan art from you. Especially now when they're going through it in the eyes of Mensis. Listen. Do what you love and the money, among other things, will in fact come.
What are they doing now?
Can't tell anymore. They block out the cameras, you see?
Yeah.
You scared them away after you told them to review Food Fight.
Charlie Roger to observatory. Charlie Roger to observatory. Receiving you loud and clear. ETA in 5 minutes. Over.
Mr. Brooks?
Yeah?
I'm through to the plane. He says ETA in about 5 minutes.
Good. Tell him to make a straight run over the observatory and drop these bombs in the roof. Hope he knows what
Scared
he's
the
doing.
space hose away, moron.
Charlie Roger.
Listen, he shot his shot.
No change?
We don't talk about Food Fight. We don't. I used to post my videos with that guy with the glasses. I can. Oh. Oh. I think we've run into an issue with the video.
Tell him to bomb the cloud.
Hello, Charlie.
There we go.
Tell him to bomb the cloud.
Hello, Charlie Roger. Drop first stick across observatory and cloud. Understand? Bomb the cloud as well. Over.
Wilco observatory. Sound.
Listen, if I didn't have some vital information stored on Google Drives, I would encourage the bombing of the cloud as well.
It's crazy to me bombing a cloud. Over.
Do as you're told. Over.
I mean, I'm English. I do know how to do that.
Stand by, everyone. The target
Would you like us to line our plays in a queue while we're at it?
Well, now all we can hope is these walls withstand the heat of those bombs.
Well, we shall know soon enough.
Oh no. The plot's falling apart at the seams. Brain cells trying to defeat you with facts and logic. Plot? What plot? Exactly.
We'll try a high-level attack first. Here we go.
I mean, one would hope it's a high-level attack if you're in a fucking plane. You know, they would have been better down where it's wetter. Take it from me.
Bombs away.
How casual. VTuber collabs be like.
Stand by for low-level attack.
Oh, we're doing the below-the-belt jokes now, are we? The little puppets for the alien guys are so cute, right? But there's all this suspense building up to this moment, and then it's just Potter puppet pals. Which fittingly should have been lit aflame. until we hit the climax because of the destruction of miniatures and stock footage. Abso-fucking-lutely. You've seen enough of these types of movies to know the calling cards, Alex. Flames are the wrong scale. Don't worry about it, V. Well, at least they didn't burn the backdrop.
Oh, Wild, tell the villagers they can go down the mountain anytime they'd like.
Yes, sir.
I refuse. See, suspension of disbelief is half the fun of these movies. The other half is just tearing more holes in it than Swiss cheese.
How about a breath of fresh air?
I'd love a breath of fresh air.
Well, sir,
You didn't pass the test.
doesn't look as though you'll have to worry about her any longer.
No, it doesn't.
Cigarette?
Well, Alan, for the first time in weeks, the Trollenberg is free from cloud.
Yes, and let's
Never
hope
mind
it
all the
stays
clouds
that
painted on there. Cinema. Polished off with a smoke. Don't forget to buy your war bonds, folks. After your Pledge of Allegiance. Oh wait, this was a British movie. Fucking amazing. Death by snoo snoo. Death by snoo snoo. Christ on a stick. Well, I feel like I needed that. Did you know they still do that in schools? That does not surprise me. In the slightest, Fee. Death by Snoo Snoo seems extreme. I mean, at this point, Cochet, given the circumstances, it's the lesser of several evils at play. Ah, my word. So I think between the fact that the movie is over and I've not been able to get either GazoTuber or my soundboard to work properly, now is probably as good a time as any to bring this stream to a close. I do appreciate all of you joining me this evening. Between those of you who actually enjoy Valentine's Day and others who, like myself, would much rather do and celebrate literally everything and anything else. I appreciate you all for tuning in, as well as for your contributions with pennies for your thoughts and simple engagement. It's always appreciated. Appreciated that you keep returning to these streams despite them being, well, my streams. And for making names for yourselves in the chat. It's always a pleasure to see each and every one of you speak up. Happy Single Person Awareness Day and Valentine's Day. Yes, absolutely, Faye. Tomorrow, I do intend to continue my ongoing series of streams with Silver, both on my channel and hers, polishing up at least potentially Halo 3. Maybe even dipping a bit into ODST, depending on how long things take. Forced celebratory days are the best, aren't they, though? Fucking aren't they? Ah, my word. But, yes, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I enjoyed tonight. I hope all of you did as well. And I'm hoping to see you next time. And until the next time, regardless of what pops up on the news, regardless of what pops up on your calendar, always remember to fucking think. Take care, everyone.